Done? This is for village level. Now what happens is the role of these people, the common people, is you have something called your UPSC only, you have something called as OBC list. You have general OBC. In that OBC you have creamy, you have non-creamy. If you can avail, if you fall in OBC and you can avail reservation, you will come under non-creamy. So basically, someone has to be put under this list. No, whether you come under SC list, ST list, OBC list. Yes. Here now in the cities it is different, but in the village, okay, they have to be put in a particular list. Let's take this only, SC list or ST list or OBC list and all. The people here, okay, I'm telling you the role of Gram Sabha. The people here will sit. Panchayat meeting will happen. This ward member will be there. The sarpanch guy also will be there. They will announce, we have gone to each member's houses, okay, and we have seen who and all is of which income, what is their caste. Based on that, we have put them on the list. See, we have put it in OBC list and all those things. To do this, okay, one person has to go and check, which caste you are belonging and all this thing. One secretary is appointed by the government of India to see how the panchayat is functioning. What is happening in the panchayat? Okay, because this guy has to report it to the government. This secretary is appointed by the government and not by a sarpanch or ward member or gram sabha. This came as a prelims question, but the question they'll ask is not very simple. This was the pattern. Basically, secretary for the panchayat is appointed by government. Okay, now this secretary will keep a tab. He will go to each house. I'm telling one example. He'll go to each house. He'll see, okay, who belongs to which caste, which community. He'll create a list. And then he will go give it to the ward member, sarpanch and all. And whatever panchayat meeting will happen, he will record all those things to give it to the government. Clear up until now? Now, these people and all will come together. Fine. They will see whether they have any inclusions to be made or any the exclusions should be made, everything. Gram Sabha, okay, will sit for the meeting. Assume you're all sitting for Gram Sabha. Now I, as a ward member and a sarpanch, I'm going to announce for our village, a lot of water problem is there. So I'm going to decide, I will ask the state government for money, okay, and with that money, I will make sure I will bring a pond here, okay, pond, so that multiple people can be using it. Now the villagers might be facing different difficulty. Okay, let's say for example, for them to commute from this place to another place, the road is completely broken and so much damage that a lot more effectively they needed that road. So now this village members will tell the sarpanch, no, we need the land, the road to be constructed because it's very important for us. We are not able to go. But the sarpanch guy thought he will bring in pond. Yes, that is sarpanch guy means sarpanch and all these ward members. Gram panchayat. Okay, we'll call them gram panchayat. Gram panchayat consists of ward members plus sarpanch. They have a different plan, but gram sabha wanted a different plan. Now there is a little bit conflict of interest. This guy is obviously the head. He can do whatever he wants, but only in gram panchayat and gram sabha what happens? If this guy has to continue building the pond, he cannot do it on his own. He has to take approval of Gram Sabha, then only he can do that. Understanding? Now he realized, Gram Panchayat realized, no, they wanted something, so they will change the plan. Or they will try to convince the people, and if they get convinced and only after they give approval, can Gram Panchayat pursue with the plan? Prelims question. All these were NCERT topics, but these came in the prelims questions. Gram Panchayat cannot function without the approval of Gram Sabha. Yeah, they will tell no. For example, if the Gram Panchayat decides, who is okay with this? Raise your hands. Who is not okay with this? Okay, all this the secretary will be logging. If let's say they say no, we don't want it, then they will have to convince Gram Sabha or take up what Gram Sabha is telling. Here for each village, whichever has Sarpanch. Now this guy is there for these many villages, right? So one secretary. One secretary. No, no, he doesn't supervise anyone's work. He keeps a log of what is happening in the panchayat. Okay. Now, this Gram Panchayat, that is the Sarpanch and ward members and all, they have the ability to collect tax in their regions. Okay. That was also another question. Tax collecting is one feature available in the Gram Panchayat. So basically the question was, Gram Panchayat can levy and collect taxes. Understanding? Gram Panchayat can levy means put tax, and collect taxes for maintenance, construction of village ponds, okay, roads, etc. Irrigation purposes. They cannot tell any arbitrary things until you have to pay 28% GST, not those kind of taxes. Simple, smaller village taxes. So Gram Panchayat has the ability to levy and collect taxes. Okay. Now with that they will tell, with this money shall we do this? The Gram Sabha will tell no. Then Gram Panchayat has to listen to it. Okay. So now if I use this word, grassroots level democracy, meaning democracy that is coming from the bottom. Grass is coming from the ground only, na? So democracy that is coming from the bottom. Democracy is nothing but people choosing. Okay, people choosing how to be governed. Now, if I say grass level panchayat, grassroots level democracy, is it there in Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha? This was prelims question. If you're answering this properly, then you've answered a prelims question properly. Grassroots level democracy is seen in Gram Sabha, not Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat is nothing but ward members and Sarpanch. The true power lies in Gram Sabha. Write it down. He is appointed. He is not someone who has to be from here. Government can appoint anyone. Clear up until here? Okay. So Gram Panchayat has ability to levy and collect taxes. Gram Sabha's approval is needed for Gram Panchayat to proceed with any developmental plans. Clear on this? No doubts up until here? Now, we spoke about a village, right? Multiple of these villages, Sarpanch, all these things come together in a bigger level. Okay? In a bigger level, let's say block level, or you have village, you have city. Between one transition zone will be there, right? Towns. It's neither a city, but it's neither a village. Similarly, in the mode of administration, in the starting we have villages. Now, second level is block level. Okay, that is multiple villages will come together. You have something called as Tahsildar. If you have to write group exams, you will write for KS, Tahsildars. So basically this. Within the state, here village level, that is your Gram Sabha, Gram Panchayat. Okay, all of this culminated together into your block level. A little bit more higher is your district level. Division, we're just dividing. Basically, if you get in through UPSC, you will be posted as collector for this entire district. Let's say you write state exam and you will be posted as Tahsildar or administrative service, you will be posted here. Understanding? So we are dividing it based on the places. Smaller one, smaller. Little bit bigger, combine them all, block level or intermediate level. A little bit more bigger, district level. Zilla Parishad. Okay. Yes. Hierarchy. But the hierarchy that India prefers is not top down, bottom up approach. We are starting from the bottom. If I ask you Sarpanch or Prime Minister, which one will you take? But India prefers democracy from the roots. That is why grassroots level democracy. We start from the village level, that is Gram Sabha. Here, the anecdotes, I told you, you have to by heart and keep this or write it somewhere so you can use it. Gandhiji's statement was, true democracy lies or Ram Raj lies in Gram Raj. Strengthening of Gram Sabha. Okay, that is what he meant. Strengthening of Gram Sabha is a true Ram Raj or political democracy, which is grassroots level democracy. You can use the statement according to Gandhiji, Gram Raj is Ram Raj. Okay, clear up until here? Now this is village level. Now when it comes to city, you cannot have Gram Sabha and all, right? If you call people to come together for a meeting, they'll tell, no, dude, I have Netflix show to watch, I can't come. So city pe you can't have those things. Rather, you divide the city into different wards. Okay? And you elect one guy. You call that guy ward member. Ward member 1, ward member 2. Yeah? All these ward members will come together and elect one councillor. Okay? Now these multiple ward members will deal with the issues of their wards. All the ward members will come together and they will elect one councillor. Basically nothing but divisions you're seeing. This is in urban area, this is in rural areas. No, it's here only. Rural. Yeah. Okay. Cities pay, we are going from ward to councillor, right? And then we go ahead to the concept of state. Again, state you have chief minister, right? Again, with center you have prime minister. Understanding? These divisions are merely, purely, mainly for administrative purposes. Understanding? Some please read this. In his book, The Discovery of India, Jayanagara says that Indian unity is not something imposed to the outside, but rather the something deeper and within its core, widest tolerance and custom was practiced and every variety acknowledged and even encouraged. Nehru coined the phrase unity in diversity. The thing that I want you to remember for your mains perspective is Jawaharlal Nehru ka book, The Discovery of India. If you will have to write something from this, you cannot by heart these many lines. Yeah, obviously you can't. Even if you by heart, for one, this much only, this much means remember for all others. So you will write Jawaharlal Nehru in Discovery of India, comma, quotes, and then you will just write the summation of this, whatever you understood. You don't have to write this exact thing, but you will just write a gist or understanding of what you feel in your words. Two main things I want you to by heart, just Jawaharlal Nehru, Discovery of India, bus. Understanding? Smartly you have to approach. See, you're not writing or reading this to write 6th standard exam, UPSC exam. Keep that in mind. No need to write anything else. Just discovery of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. That's it. Fine. Now please read this. We've discussed it. Gendered stereotype, nothing but male doing this one, female doing this roles. So much so that stereotypes are there with respect to nations. Remember, they are Asians means they are like this. Africans means they are like this. Understanding? Nothing to write. I'll be sharing those. Someone read this.
Discrimination, religious stereotypes, economic inequality. The electoral caste used to address religions. They prefer this vote to untouchable. Dalit means those who have been broken. Government calls scheduled castes.
A huge amount of information on this, which will be discussed in the actual topics when we start. But as of now, know that discrimination because of your prejudice, stereotype, economic inequality, alongside social inequality. Economic inequality is one thing. Social inequality is the worst kind of thing that there could exist. And it existed in India, it exists in India. One of the worst kind of things that we could put on humankind is untouchability. Article 17 of your constitution, which is extremely against untouchability in all forms and walks. Okay, later in your history class, they'll explain what untouchability is in detail. But know one thing, one of the worst kind of things, atrocities, if anyone could create, that is untouchability. And one section, if it has always been, okay, have been put under that struggle of untouchability, that is Dalits. They call themselves Dalits. Earlier, they were called untouchables. Okay. Now, government calls them as scheduled castes. Understanding? No need to write anything. Now please read this.
Country India diversity, or a country as large as India, a continent diversity exists. But what we did with that determine the size of our nation, lower caste, women, economically weaker section, Indian has suffered a long list for a long time to be treated with respect and equality. Constitution makers try to address all these issues. India tried to take in and embrace the diversity of positively secular, the ideas of the nation to shine in the constitution.
Explanation is needed here. Basically, for everything, everywhere, people have fought, suffered. Okay. For example, we had to bring untouchability means don't take the little word. You shouldn't go touch people. Untouchability is one of the worst. We had something called as Varna system in India. What are the Varna systems? What are those? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. People were to do occupations only based on what they were born into. Basically, before a child is being born, you're deciding what that child's fate should be. And these kind of things have been met with harsh criticisms, which is wrong in every sense, even on letter, even on reality. In Constitution, we are telling Article 17 pe, untouchability is bad. We had to tell that because that is the amount of untouchability that went on. And state is very strict against that. Okay. See, now we have something called as DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Later in Constitution, you will come into this. There you have mentioned men and women have to be treated equally and given employment. We are writing that. Isn't it all obvious that it should be did like that? But our society has faced so much in respect to this discrimination that we had to physically write it. Now, with respect to children, children are children, right? Male children or female children. You shouldn't have to write female infanticide is bad. If someone does that, I'll go capture them, I'll arrest them. You don't have to tell that, right? Anyone killing any child is wrong. But we have to do that because our societal prejudice, because our societal stereotype is so much so that society largely prefers male children over female children. And they see the female children as a burden. For this reason, they went on to do female infanticide. Today in India, you all would have seen Instagram, all those gender reveal, that, this, things are there. You can know the sex of the fetus before it is born, but it is strictly prohibited in India. Why? Because they use that as an option to eliminate the child if it is a girl child. So because of this, our laws are like that. Because of our societal stereotypes and prejudices, our society runs in a particular way. That is why still today, anywhere anyone does sex determination of the fetus, they, along with the people who did it and people who tried to harm or not harm, everyone can be arrested. For every small thing in our constitution, we had to write even the basic common sense into the constitution. Why? Because we have faced huge amount of discrimination as a society. Understanding? So our constitution has ideals alongside things as to how the society should be. Like I told, preamble, don't we know? We can tell, don't we know how we should bring the society? Why some don't you tell us? Because our society has faced it so much that we had to physically put it in that piece of book. One of the worst things suffered was your Dalits. Still do, majority of places we can tell, no, it's not there, but the ground reality is very far from what you see in the books. Be it here or be it after you get selected or anything, when you go to the field to work, it is extremely different. Still, we do see scenarios where it is practiced, untouchability is practiced, people are treated badly because of their caste. One thing UPSC hopes is you as diplomats will change that. So, someone read this?
One of the government, both internal plus external. Governments, institutions, constitutional bodies, or non-constitutional bodies. The types of government. Type of government, reason for choosing democracy. Election, openness or human suffrage movement, universal adult rights. Judiciary.
These are mere words. On its own, it doesn't make any sense. Unless and until you form into a statement, these are just mere words. Understanding? The statements or what it is was in the class we discussed. Understanding? All these things you will discuss, every single word here you will discuss as a separate chapter in your polity. But the basis is what we discussed. Some please read this.
In young India, cannot possibly bear the idea that a man who has got wealth should have it. But that a man who has got character, who does not it, should have no. Or that a man who works honestly by the sweat of his brow day in and day out, should not have the role of a kind of man.
I want you to by heart this and this. Young India, Gandhi, quotes pe your summation. Done? Three tiers of government. First one being your panchayat, which is the grassroots democracy, or true democracy is seen in grassroots democracy. Write that down. You can use it as a slogan, as a pointer in your mains. True democracy is seen in grassroots level democracy. Exact words. Okay. I told you, in a village, all the people come together and they will vote this ward member. This is called direct elections. People are directly electing whom they want. Now these ward members or panchis will come together and elect the sarpanch. In a way, it is like people are electing but indirectly. Those are called as indirect election. Direct election means people electing the panchi, right, or the ward member. The ward members coming together and electing one sarpanch for the people is indirect election. Now I'll ask you a question. Grassroots level democracy is visualized in 4 options I'm going to give you. Election of president, election of sarpanch, election of ward member, election of vice president. This is your question. Election of ward member. Why?
But
Election of president, election of vice president, okay, all these are, and sarpanch are all indirect. People are not directly electing. True grassroots level democracy or direct elections is called as direct democracy. That is done only when people directly elect the members. Now I'll give another question. You have to pick which of these. Okay, it could be more than 2 or 3 or pairs. Again, same thing, grassroots level democracy has, okay, popular sovereignty. I haven't used the word, but I'm just using it for the question. Is visualized in the election of ward member, the election of ward member in cities, election of MPs, election of MLAs in state legislature. Which of these is correct? I'll simplify the question. Among these things that I mentioned, which will constitute as your grassroots level democracy or direct democracy? Election of ward member, election of ward members in cities, election of MPs, election of MLAs in state legislature. Which of these? Okay. All the 4. All the 4 are directly elected by people. Presently, UPSC is bringing questions like this. They will give 1 pair, only first 2 options. You don't know which 2 options. 2 pair or 3 pairs or 4 pairs. This kind of questions, they never used to have it before. They started it largely in 2022 onwards. So you have to prepare for this kind also. Understanding? Some please read this.
functioning Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha, village panchayat divided into wards, ward member, panch. Members of Gram Sabha elect sarpanch. Ward panch plus sarpanch is Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat is elected for 5 years. Gram Panchayat and secretary, who is also the secretary of the Gram Sabha. Secretary appointed by the government, responsible for calling the meeting of the Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat and keeping a record of the proceedings. Work of the Gram Panchayat has to be approved by the Gram Sabha.
As we discussed, I write this down in your own words. Do not write something from the slide. Write it in your own words. Simpler statements. See, these are like very juvenile questions, right? After this, you will start with the advanced classes and everything. But in the exam, just this, okay? Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha ka question, people have made mistake. Largely, they have made a mistake. Now it seems simpler, but there you get confused and you forget about the topic. What is it? State. Done? Done? The 3 levels, Panchayat, block level, Zilla Parishad. This is in the village level, that is in the intermediate level, that is in the district level. This is also called as Janpad Panchayat or Panchayat Samiti. All the developmental plans are made in Zilla Parishad, meaning the bigger plans for an entire district. That is where you will preside over as the district collector. To different levels, yeah, different person. Done? We'll move ahead. Pretty much facts. In your rural areas, okay, who has how much amount of land, what crops is grown in that land, this is all the work of this guy, Patwari, okay. Patwari does the role of finding whose land, ownership, what is grown in that land. In the village level, intermediate level, that is done by Tehsildar. In the district level, it comes under district collector. This is not very much of an information. There is something else. Fine, finish. No need to write anything. This is all share. Okay. It's pretty much standard facts, nothing to worry about. When we speak about land, 80% of India's rural economy is dependent on agriculture. For such lands, okay, in largely, there was a rule that only the male children can inherit the property. But we brought changes into that act, Hindu Succession Act, which said that no, now even daughters and wives of the deceased person can get succession in the land. Not to worry about, nothing here. You will get these things in the further thing. Your livelihood of your rural is based on farm and non-farm activities. Just write on one word. Livelihood in rural areas is predominantly focused in the primary sector, which is farm and non-farm activities. Farming is anything to do with farming. Non-farming means you have a couple of cows. Okay, you'll use it for dairy, right? You will use that milk and sell it in cooperatives and make some extra cash, basically. Okay, farm and non-farm activities. We have something called as your farmers pay, smaller farmers and bigger land holding farmers. A farmer who has just 0.5 acre of land and a farmer who has 500 acre of land are not on the same lines. The limit of the land which they hold is called land ceiling. If someone who holds a very smaller land, okay, he's called a small farmer. How do we differentiate who is small farmer, large farmer or marginal farmer? That will be all directed by the government order. Land ceiling means land measurement. Okay. This is also nothing too much important for you to worry about, nor is this. Urban livelihood, basically tertiary sector, service sector, lawyers, actors, politicians, okay? Any service sector and all comes under your urban livelihood. See, these are, your NCERT is filled with almost facts. But this NCERT was designed for a 6th standard person. The same NCERT when it comes to a UPSC aspirant is now what I tell. Take out a sheet of paper. Take out a sheet of paper. Write down one question. So you have, I don't know how many of you have heard this. You have something called mock tests. People assume, first I'm going to prepare all of this NCERT and then finish advanced books, and then I'm going to start with mock test for prelims, and then after that I will write prelims, after that I will write mock test for mains. This is your clear map for failure. You should not practice something. See, the whole purpose of mock test is this simple. What mistakes you're going to commit in the exam, you commit it now. So it doesn't lose you an attempt. See, cutoff is 100 marks prelims ke liye. You score 99 marks. No one is going to feel, ayyo papa, 1 mark only. No, will give. No one's going to feel that. 99.5 if you get also, you are not eligible. That's why I said 0.5 marks per people have lost. The same thing is with respect to mains. I told you 1 mark has a difference of 4 ranks. When it is at that level of importance, I told you prelims to mains, you hardly have 45 days. In that 45 days, 15 days, you will end up wasting. 30 days, whether you will read for optional ethics essay or what will you do? You cannot that time write mock tests. And mock test is not something that you start writing after you completed it. As and when you learn something, you will only learn. See, first thing is, don't learn to fail in the mock test that you will write. Because when you enter exam, you are a very basic beginner. Basic beginners cannot write mains papers. Now you should become the basic beginners. So when you reach the mock test level, you are already well settled. Then when you go to exam, you are advanced. So in my class, frequently we will keep writing answer writing also. Okay, we'll deal with both prelims as well as mains. Write down a question. Elucidate. Elucidate. By the way, we are done with 6th NCERT. Give a round of applause for finishing 6th standard NCERT. Elucidate. Put in quotes. Unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. With special reference to. With special reference to regional differences. This is a 10-mark question. See, understand few things. Your mains paper, if you look at your Indian society, this question largely looks like an Indian society paper because they just form few terminologies, throw it like a statement and give it to you. Most times this happens in mains. Most times people are like, what exactly am I supposed to write to this? Majority of the times. The first thing is they give you, it appears very random. It appears very random. It's like they just found one statement and they threw it, and what do they expect me to write for it? And that too for a 10-mark question. One more thing is prelims day, you have the privilege to leave questions because negative marking is there. If you don't know it, don't attempt it. Interview pay, there is an option where you can tell, sir, I don't know, ma'am, I don't know. Mains, you do not have that option, meaning you should not leave any question unanswered. Not a single question. Even if you don't know it, you should try to write it. Something at least remotely. Mains, you do not have the privilege to leave any question unanswered. Most times, 25% of the time in your paper, these kind of questions will come. See, you guys are fairly new. I can tell, first class this thing. Write this answer. Okay? Entirely based on what we spoke in today's class. Try to build an answer. It's fine. There is no right, there is no wrong. But just attempt an answer. That will be a major milestone. Okay? Start writing. I give 15 minutes of time. Understand today's class. Simple. Like NCERT only. Start with some anecdote or an introduction. Take your time. Do not think that you have to write properly, correctly. No such thing. This is your first attempt. Baby steps. All these tests are to make sure only one thing. You do not fail or make mistakes in the exam. Whatever you make it sure. It's not going to cost you 3 years of your life. You can. Anyone attempting exam this year? You filled the application? Don't restrict yourself to any word limits. This is still the practice stage, so no need of thinking of any word limits. The UPSC only tells the syllabus but has never prescribed a textbook. We tell you which textbook and that things, but it is not what UPSC has told. So UPSC is not relying on any particular textbook or content. It wants you to have free knowledge. Try to bring out the same in your answers also. Done? If done, pull the papers together. Pull the papers together, select it and submit. Both. Thank you, class. We'll end the session.